Now, many of you are familiar with this, but for those who aren't, I'll give a little brief summary. Brian Williams is a news anchor for NBC News, and he got into some trouble because back in 2003, while covering the Iraq War, he was in a helicopter, in a group of helicopters, and he was in one of the helicopters and they were flying, and one of them got hit with a RPG, a rocket-propelled grenade, so they had to land and it was a big news story. But it wasn't his helicopter, it was just another helicopter in that group, but they all had to land because of it. Later, he was like in an interview on the Letterman show, he said that it was multiple helicopters, including his, that got hit, so they had to land. And then, back on, this was in January 30th, I believe, he was on the actual news show and he said that it was his helicopter again. And then he got called out by a bunch of veterans, so he got taken off the air. He went on a little leave of absence, but then he got suspended by NBC for 6 months. So this is Brian Williams here. And ever since this incident occurred, there's just been a bunch of memes. It's been going crazy with these whole stories. Making up these ridiculous stories about Brian Williams. Anyway, yeah, there's a lot of these, so. Anyway, Brian Williams, like, he's been suspended, you know, they're thinking about firing him, he might get replaced indefinitely. So he's been in a lot of trouble for this, and he's faced a lot of scrutiny, not only from the people who watch the news, but also his colleagues and other medias of the, other members of the media. Which brings me to a video that I have. So, various other news channels such as Fox, CNN, ABC, they've all attacked him. And this here is The Daily Show on Comedy Central with the host, Jon Stewart, who's actually a kind of a candidate to maybe replace Brian Williams at some point. Here's what he had to say. I thought this whole piece was very good at describing the situation, but since I can only show a small clip, I'll just show this part.
The media is right to go after Williams like this. Imagine if you let lies slip into news stories, like a huge pile of them that was disseminated in, say, the New York Times and Meet the Press. And sometimes in the New York Times, just so that the administration could then go on Meet the Press and say this.
There's a story in the New York Times this morning that, in fact, he has been seeking to acquire the kinds of tubes that are necessary to build a centrifuge. A centrifuge is required to take low-grade uranium and enhance it, which is what you have to have in order to build a bomb.
And the crazy thing is, the Bush administration are the ones who planted the story in the New York Times in the first place. The run-up to the Iraq War was kind of beautiful in the evil efficiency of its media manipulation. It's like the Bush administration hired Temple Grandin.
Okay.
Oh my God.
But anyway, the point I'm trying to make here is that the media, although they are scrutinizing Brian Williams, and probably rightfully so, that he did lie, but like it says here, if the media would have applied this much scrutiny to the war when it actually happened, then we might not have this whole big scandal thing. So, anyway, Brian Williams, while he is guilty of lying, thank you. It's not the first time that the media has actually lied. So since I only have 1 minute left, I'll just kind of skim through my conclusion. The point I'm trying to make is that while Brian Williams did do a bad thing, it's not the first time and it won't be the last time. And, you know, yes, maybe he does deserve to be suspended, but maybe fired, I don't really think so. And I have another article that explains ways that he can kind of redeem himself, but I couldn't really get to that. But anyway, that's all I have to say. So, thank you.
All right, thank you. Any questions for Ian?
Who's that guy that you said not replacing?
Oh, Jon Stewart, he's the host of the show on Comedy Central called The Daily Show, which has been around for, yeah, at least like, I think 15 years. But he's finally stepping down from that show, and there's been a bunch of speculation on whether he's gonna like take up an actual news show or if he's gonna get into politics, stuff like that. But he's being rumored as maybe one of the replacements for Brian Williams if Brian Williams does end up being fired, which is looking like he probably will.
Bless you, thank you.
Any other questions? Yes, Andrew Shaw?
Yes, you said that you were not able to get to possible ways for him to redeem himself. Would you mind sharing that?
Oh, sure. The article I read is on this website called fortune.com, and it said that he should not necessarily like stay in the shadows. He should still try to do some news-related stuff, even though he can't really work for NBC. But basically, they're trying to say don't stay out, like don't go into hiding.
Right.
And then they also said things like give a genuine apology, because really the only apology he's given, like he didn't actually admit to lying, he said that he misremembered.
I thought I got hit.
That's okay.
I'm sorry, that's just hilarious.
But anyway, yeah, they said he should give a genuine apology, and that, what was another thing? They said he should maybe do some work with military members, you know, kind of help with the Wounded Warriors Project or something, just kind of to restore his image,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, that's basically all the article talked about, just possible ways he could redeem himself. Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you so much, Ian. You all know what to do. Tally up your scores.